So what's up, everybody? We just got done shooting the music video for Worlds Collide, which is, I think, the lead single for our project.
What is a lead single? Like when people say, this is my lead single, is that the first one they put out or the one like when the project drops?
That's a good question. Sometimes you lead with the single, sometimes it's just like the main song. Sometimes it can be like the focus track when you drop the project like all together.
Worlds Collide is the focus track.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
What is Worlds Collide to you? Like, I mean, I guess for context, we made this tape and it was like, honestly, it was supposed to be like 3 songs, right? And I was just like, yo, do you want to make a couple, like an EP? And then you were like, what'd you say?
Let's go for 7.
Yeah, because it would show up as an album.
Yep.
And so then we were working on that. But there was never like a theme, really. It was more just like, yo, let's rap on some records, get that feeling back.
Yeah.
I think we're both coming out of like stages of our life that felt very like held back to some degree.
Definitely.
Or like went through a tough period.
Yeah.
However you want to call it.
Right.
And
you want to elaborate on yours?
I not really, honestly. Like I feel like we both, I'd say mine was just like a difficult mental situation that like was the hardest shit I've ever gone through, where I came out of it, and because of going through that difficult thing, we found like this childlike wonder and this passion behind making music, and like wanted to be like the best rapper again. And what was yours?
For Worlds Collide?
Or like thematically, because like we didn't plan it, like, right? We were talking about whatever we wanted to talk about, but I think it came out in a way where like the tone of it was both of us talking about situations we went through, and that's how we got to the greatest story never told.
Right.
Because mine was a situation that I went through that was supposed to be like, oh, this is supposed to be the biggest thing and the best, and then it turned into nothing.
Right.
And I think yours was similar, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like you go into something and you're like used to what you're doing, and you feel like your dream is like what you want to focus on, and then you meet other people with completely different dreams, and you kind of clash, and that's kind of the worlds colliding, and then our worlds collide, and we create this project based off of that. And it just, I don't know, it came together so easily. I think we did it in pretty much a week.
Yeah.
And
recording wise.
Yeah, literally. And it feels, I don't know, it just feels really good. I think all the songs in there are really cool. Each has a story of its own. I feel like they all connect very well. And I feel like you guys are going to hear that for sure.
What's your favorite story on the project of yours?
Probably greatest story ever told.
Okay.
I think on that one, like, I really like spoke from, like, I feel like exactly what was going on. I mentioned my side project in it. I mentioned what was happening with like industry stuff in my life, and I feel like, I don't know, I let out a lot of pent up aggression and other stuff on that song, and it honestly feel better. And I'm just really happy that everyone gets to hear this soon. 100%.
What was your favorite story of mine? Nah, I know he listens because I was in the live. I was in his live the other day, and I said some like, I don't know, I said some shit, and he said some like tucked shit off a verse that I didn't even remember. I forget what it was.
The best one was, it's not a lock until you throw away the extra key.
Said,
that's
your favorite
that
bar?
Right there was definitely what, like, I feel like that spoke to me the most. Yeah.
What did that mean to you? Because the line is, it's not a lock until you throw away the extra key.
I think for me, like, I took that as like you give people too many openings into like really private parts of your life and things that you want to keep to yourself. And so until you get rid of all these like ways that people can get into that, it's not really, like, you're not really, you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone could just keep infiltrating until you throw away all that extra stuff that allows them to like harm you in ways that you didn't expect, you know?
It's crazy because that's what I meant. And like a lot of times you say shit, right? And it's like, oh, it's whatever they wanted it to think. But there's still that meaning that it meant to you. That when someone else hears it that way, you're like, you relate on a totally different level. You're like, bro, 100%. Whoa. Like, I took this piece of art, put it out in the world, you received the piece of art, and then you were like, see it the same way.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy. And like, even though we thought the same thing we both have like completely different situations that led us to like relating to that lyric. Yeah. And I think that's fascinating in itself, honestly.
What was the period of time like that you talk about? I'd say in Worlds Collide, or the greatest story never told. Like, for me, I'd say it's the past like 3 to 4 years, 3 years of my life.
Yeah.
Is it same timeline?
Literally same time frame. Like, when music started like really picking up, I feel like so many people were trying to get involved and telling me like, you have to be like this, and you have to make this music, and this is what's gonna blow up, and like, you can't do this. And I think hearing all of that, like, of course music is subjective, but it got to a point where I was sitting there like, I don't even know what I want to do. And getting rid of all of these negative influences on my life is what I wrote about. And I feel like the way I like end the verse on Greatest Story Never Told like means the world to me, literally, because it just shows like the growth, I feel like, of going through that whole time period, and then 2023 being like the year where I'm finally back in control of everything and I can do whatever. And I think like the last 4 bars really show that for sure.
Sonically, what are you excited about right now, like for your own stuff and then just in general?
I think just experimenting and finding what I'm passionate about with music again. I feel like I have so much time and so much energy now that I'm not getting drained by so many outside sources that I can focus on pretty much whatever. And so I'm just experimenting, having fun, and it's so cool. It's really cool.
Are you trying anything new, Drex, lately?
Same shit, kind of experimenting, but I think like within a framework I've built, like it has a trajectory now. Because I think my past 2-3 years was, a lot of it was too much experimentation, and a lot of it was me being afraid of having a name, and like me being afraid of being like, this is what I love as an artist. And I learned in a world of infinity and like all these different things you can do, like you do, if you want to be great at something, I think have to pick. And like then when you pick and you decide and you build this like box, and for me it was like the lo-fi shit, and like honestly a lot of the samples I loved, like when I was in that dark place, like I just made 100 songs, and I rediscovered why I made music. It's because like when I was a kid I felt fucking horrible, and like I didn't want to be who I was, and like, or I wanted to be who I was but I wasn't able to be, and like the world was telling me I couldn't be, and I hated that feeling, and I wanted to tell everybody, like I wanted to tell myself and get myself out of that feeling, and then beyond that I wanted to tell others, like, yo, you don't need to feel that way, they're wrong, believe in yourself, but this is what it takes, you know what I mean? Not like woe is me, and like nobody believes in me, and it's like, nah, fuck that, let me go show them, and then show others that like that's kind of what it takes to some degree. And like I think tying that back in, sonically I was afraid to become that person. Like I think sonically, because of the scene we're in, like I think I was making a certain sound from that place of pain, and just like from a place of like I have a lot to say, and then I think a lot of other people started making similar sounding records, and it made me afraid of like making those kind of songs, because I personally felt like, damn, if I only make this sound, is it only because I'm trying to grow and get numbers and build a fan base, when in reality it wasn't the case, but that's how I felt when I was a kid, and I had a lot of growing to do. And I think because of that, it allowed me to experiment, but now I feel like it's a video game where I went and I got the sword and I got the fucking skills, and then like I tried all these things, but now I'm ready. And now like I have like a particular aim, and I'm like, I'm gonna hit it. And I think worlds collide, and like that was me. I think this project for me was a lot of tapping back, and me and Sion too, like a lot of what we've been working on is tapping back into that feeling that I almost feel like that's the greatest story never told. It's almost like, damn, what if that kid had the foresight or the hindsight I have right now to be like, yo, let me be the best version of this with no holds barred, and just like going all out. And like,
I think it takes time sometimes to fall in love with it. Like for me, I feel like it took me I feel like I had to make the sound intentionally with the goal of like, yo, I feel like this is gonna work. And I had to do that for a certain amount of time, but then over time I fell in love with that. I fell in love with making it, fell in love with like the technique.
But
which I feel like is a lot of like what you've been doing right now.
I would say with that, I feel very confident on what I'm allowing myself to do within the next 2-3 years, because like while I'm tapping back into that nostalgia and that missed opportunity almost, I feel like I robbed myself of like being able to create these records at a high level. And I think a lot of kids in our scene, bro, got robbed of it. Whether it was like the label situation where all the labels were coming in and being like, oh, we seen 1 or 2 records in this style pop, we want to make a bunch of them pop, and then they sign everything, and then they're like, yo, let's just see what works. And then when it doesn't work, they don't really have the same care that you have.
Kind of turn away. And
then you get pushed to the side, and it's like that creativity was there and all these ideas, and we were making these records, but then I almost feel like our fan bases got robbed. Because it's like I didn't have the label stitch, but I had my own version of that I was like fighting my own shit and trying other shit, and like I feel like to some degree got robbed of like myself making those records and giving those to the fan base. And I think that's what gets me the most excited about like tapping back into that nostalgia and the lo-fi feeling right now and the samples. And then I see where my personal sound is going to grow. Like I want it to be big and I want it to be beautiful, but that's for a different interview.
Absolutely.
What are you most excited for moving forward? For your own stuff?
Yeah, I think I'm just excited to keep dropping stuff, man. Like I think I dropped 7 songs in 2 years or something crazy like that, and that's ridiculous, you know?
Yeah.
And so just 2023 being the year where I finally take everything back, and I've dropped maybe like 30 songs already, and I still got more, and now we got this project, and it just feels so good. Like everything, everything just feels so good, you know? And so I feel like that's what I'm definitely most excited for. Just like always like improving and evolving, but also sticking to my roots as well, so people know like, oh yeah, he really like stuck with it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song on this project?
I mean, after the music video, I would say Worlds Collide. 'Cause
Really?
now we see it. You know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Okay, so with that mindset, what would you say? What would be next? Like if you could put a visual to one more song, which one would you pick?
I feel like we could do so many different. I feel like we could do a nice, chill one for The Greatest Story Never Told. I feel like that
Yeah.
one definitely could speak volumes for people, especially with a visual behind it.
Dope.
Um,
Should we do a parking lot right here VHS music video?
I think so.
All right, let's do
All right,
that.
let's do it.
All right, bet. Great interview.
Anything to say to people at home?
We're about to shoot Greatest Story Worlds. We're
Yep.
about to shoot.
Yep.
Shoot, hold on.
About to
take
shoot.
one, take two.
Take two.
Yep.
I'll let him say it.
Yep.
We're about
Yep.
to shoot The Greatest Story Never Told VHS. We just shot
Story
Worlds
Never
Collide. Just keep looking out, I guess. I think the music is what gets. If you rocking with how the records are sounding, and you found a place and like they spoke to you in the past, I think what we're all about to make, not just me, not just Rose, not just Sion, like what we're all about to make, I think is going to be really special.
Change the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it finds you. And if you need it, I hope it finds you. And I can't wait to see all the shows because we haven't got to play shows yet, and that's just a whole another feeling. So that's gonna be be cool. And we got another project. I'll probably just cut this out, but maybe I'll add it back in at the end.
Yep.
We all got a little project.
Easy.
Who the fuck is that?
Shout out
Jackie. It's a, oh.
Oh.